All right, here you go, buddy. Go get it. Hey, it's Rob, and I'm out here with my buddy Diego. And today's topic is, how are people going to react to the upcoming biopic about Michael Jackson? Oh, got the ball back again. Anyway, so it was just announced that Jaafar Jackson, which is Jermaine's, I believe, second youngest son, will be playing Michael in this upcoming biopic, directed by Antoine Fuqua, who did Training Day. I think he did another biopic about Muhammad Ali and many other things. His uncle is Harvey Fuqua, who had a lot of involvement in the early Motown days. Anyway, so if you've seen my other videos, you know that I spent 2 years around Michael Jackson in the studio when he was recording the album Dangerous. I did nothing important on that record. I was picking up lunch and cleaning up at the studio, after they left for the day. So nothing I did had any actual impact on the recording. I was friendly with Michael. I was around him every day and enjoyed being around him. And, I'm interested in, the topic of Michael Jackson because of my personal experience with him. Anyway, so they are saying they're going to start filming this new biopic about Michael. It, has been in the works for who knows how long. And, when you're talking about Michael, of course, there are so many differing opinions when it comes to what people think about him, how people feel about him, whether they want to be supportive of him, whether they want to admit publicly that they enjoy his music. I think privately, probably everyone enjoys his music, but, obviously with all the stuff that has come out about him, the most recently being Leaving Neverland, and all the continuing accusations about him regarding child abuse and being inappropriate around different people who have claimed that, that he took advantage of them and, all that sort of thing. The bottom line, of course, is that he was, of course, tried and found, not guilty. He was exonerated. He was let go. And he has been gone now for 15 years. So there will never be any kind of resolution. I don't think any evidence will ever come out that will really unequivocally say, all right, Michael did this, he's guilty, there's, video footage of it or whatever. So whatever it was that would have come out by now has come out by now. And people making allegations many years after the fact, your memory plays tricks on you. I'm not blaming the victim. I'm not saying that someone who thinks they went through an experience like this, didn't have those experiences, and maybe in fact these things did happen. There's no way for me to know. All I can say is that for myself and for everyone I know who worked around Michael and was in his orbit, at least in the studio, for the 2 years we were on Dangerous, we certainly never saw any evidence of this. We never had any concerns. This was way before people were even talking about this kind of stuff. And they were saying Michael was weird and he, slept with the Elephant Man, bones and, you name it. There was all those kind of crazy stuff. He, was buying all these things and, had these things around him or whatever. But the allegations with the kids, thankfully, at least for me, didn't happen till after I had moved on and he was working elsewhere. As a matter of fact, and this is not really related to anything, he should have come back to the studio I worked at to start the History Project, to start Blood on the Dance Floor and the next projects that came after Dangerous. But in 94, we had the, of course, Northridge earthquake, January 17th, 1994. And that scared him so much they decided to go, I think, record in New York or elsewhere. So he was kind of out of Los Angeles at that point, at least as far as working was concerned. And I had moved on from that studio anyway, by that point. Anyway, so this movie will be shot this year, supposedly. We probably won't see it till next year or, Christmas at the earliest. But with a big project like this, there's really no way. It's going to take them forever to shoot it. So it may be summer of 2024, before we see anything. It's going to be a while. And, of course, people have just this wide range of reactions when it comes to, what they think about Michael. And many people out there are going to say, hey, you're glorifying this guy. Matter of fact, this is what motivated this video today. I saw, a article today that, the producer of Leaving Neverland saying, you're glorifying this guy who abused children, and you're going to put him out there again, and people are, going to be enjoying his singing and his music and everything, but he's kind of getting a pass on the fact that he was abusing kids, all along, and all that kind of stuff that you hear. That is, of course, a reaction that is legitimate based on all the information, and all the things we've seen in the media over the decades, during Michael's life, and especially after he's been gone now for so long. But the bottom line is, we're not ever going to know. Nobody was in there except for, the people who say they were there, and, people who probably were there who, will give accounts of the things that happened or didn't happen. But Michael's gone. There's not going to be any kind of further investigations, I think, that are going to, uncover anything at this point. So it's all based on your personal opinion, and many people will say, well, forget it. I'm not going to enjoy Michael Jackson music because he was crazy and he was abusing kids and doing all sorts of horrible things, in his private life. But at this point, who's it really hurting? You're hurting yourself. If you would normally enjoy music by Michael Jackson, by denying yourself, you're hurting who? His kids, who have no involvement in this, who stand to gain financially, and the Jackson family, etc. And who are you punishing at this point? I'll show Michael. I'm not going to go see his movie. I mean, he's been dead for 15 years. So is it going to matter to him or, anybody else, in his orbit who, was involved in these types of activities? No. So basically, you're just going to, stand on your principle, and that's fine, and you're not going to go see the movie or whatever, but who is it really hurting, at this point? Who's going to pay the price for you not enjoying or not attending, a movie about Michael Jackson? The only person, of course, who could benefit, who you'd have a problem with, is gone. So it'll be interesting to see, of course, how they cover all these allegations, and I'm sure it will, of course, have to be in the movie, but obviously, if this is sanctioned by the estate, there's not going to be anything in there that will be, controversial or, show Michael in a bad light or whatever. So we already know what we're going to get. It's done by the producers of Bohemian Rhapsody, and just like the movie Bohemian Rhapsody about Queen really glossed over his activities, as far as, his interactions with men and all that kind of stuff, and things that we have, again, heard, and allegations that just were kind of, whitewashed over because the band was involved and they didn't want this to be the focus of the movie. So it's going to be the same with the biopic, that it's going to be amazing, and hopefully they do a really good job with it, with topics like this and a subject like Michael. I mean, you can't just be, halfway about this. I mean, they got to go over the top. They got to, pull out all the stops. They got to make sure that when he's doing the moonwalk, on the Motown 25th anniversary, that every single step is exactly to the letter, exactly what we saw, during that broadcast. And so all that stuff, they're going to have to be incredibly detailed and just do a great job to convince us that, we're watching Michael up on the screen. And having a family member, having Jaafar Jackson, of course, is going to help, versus some other actor or whatever who, no matter what you could do with makeup or digital effects or whatever, is not going to be as convincing as a Jackson family member. So I'm going to keep this under 10 minutes, as I often try to do and fail. But anyway, so we got a little while. It's going to be, like I said, at least a year and a half before we see this Michael Jackson biopic. There will be, certainly a lot of, people discussing whether there should be a, movie about Michael Jackson, especially once it comes out, and whether you should see it or, whether you should support this kind of thing. And of course, that is up to you and your personal beliefs. But my take on it, and from my experience As far as the 2 years I spent with him, I saw nothing to be concerned about personally. I was around him all the time. There wasn't anything going on that I would be worried about, and I'll be first in line to see it. I want to see what they're going to do with it. So, all right, going to wrap it up here. There's really nothing else to discuss at this point. They haven't even started shooting it yet, and who knows? Maybe the whole thing will fall apart or whatever. But for now, it looks like they're going ahead with it, and yeah, I can't wait to see it. All right, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you later.